Welcome to No Brands Land. My name is Ashley, and you have just found your digital home if you are tired of the BS of business and marketing.
I know I'm smiling right now, but the light inside me is dying.
Don't get me wrong. I love marketing. I love business. I do not love the BS behind both of those. So, for the first time ever, I am literally putting my digital neck on the line and talking all things behind the scenes of business and marketing, all of the uglies, all of the goodies, and everything in between. I'm in a process of relocating from Central Florida to Austin, Texas. No idea why I decided to go ahead and start recording and launch an entire podcast throughout that process, but welcome to an introduction of the kind of person I am. I just like to put it out there. And if I'm really honest, this is building on a accumulation of the last 12 years of my entire career in marketing and business. I've had several brands of my own. I've had a freaking bankruptcy. Okay. So if you are interested in any kind of content like this, where I'm really going in, I'm judging the hell out of what the industry says we should be doing for business and marketing. And I'm also offering alternative perspectives. So I'm not just bringing problems, I am offering solutions to help humanize business and marketing. And I'm doing this because I am tired of perpetuating the echo chamber of marketing and business. You're also in the very beginning stages of this. So right now you're seeing my lovely little work corner. As this grows, as I continue to show up, I fully anticipate a lovely studio. But right now, this is what we're working with. It's just to get the ideas out there, just to post some thoughts and questions, to bring you some fun and entertainment, and to get the shit off my chest. It's time for me to stop taking myself so freaking serious and start sharing the insight that I have, moving from behind the scenes to the front and center stage so that I can really share some of these radical ideas that I have, these innovative ideas for business and marketing to just make the world a better place from behind the scenes. Okay. I am going to tone it down just a little bit because I came out there really hot and heavy, really excited with that ugly advertiser talk. And now you're just going to have Ashley. Here we are. Side note, I might have to pause this to go get some chapstick or some water or something because your girl did not prepare. I literally, right before I hit record, threw some olive oil on my lips because for some reason I thought that would be ideal. And I'm freaking thirsty. So I just want to start off by let's reset the tone a little bit. I want to talk more about who I am, why I'm doing No Brands Land as a podcast. This is an idea that I have had for the last 2 years. I think I purchased my domain for this a year ago. This has really been hot and heavy on my heart. I've been in marketing now for over 12 years. And I have been behind the scenes of a lot of different brands as a contractor, working throughout agencies, really in the freelance space, up until everything happened with the pandemic, and now everybody is contracting, remote working, and freelancing. So I made a really quick pivot into more of a fractional CMO for smaller brands or developing brands that don't have massive, departments and branches and corporations. That's just not my jam. Could it be? Sure. Am I interested? Not really. So primarily I hear and work with, I don't know what I hear was, but primarily I'm working with small business brands. The reason I have been so hesitant on even starting a podcast is because honestly, just monologuing by myself is boring as crap. I am a conversational person. I love conversation. I love kind of the back and forth, the feedback, and the way that a conversation helps develop a thought and inspire one another. That being said, I did start a short little series of video reactions so I can actually give you conversational perspective on marketing and business advice from my perspective. So I'm giving you an opinion about an opinion. How freaking fun is that? But the time is here. The time is here. I'm ready. I feel like I finally have my thoughts together. I am finishing my master's in IO psychology. So making that pivot into caring more about workplace culture and using my skills to essentially do good, essentially push out good. I'm like the digital Robin Hood. So I fully intend to just go behind the scenes. I really want to get into my emails right now. the promotional emails, because I think that'll be fun to just give you my perspective on at least email marketing and what's being pushed out there. So there's so much fun to be had on this channel. I would love to maybe eventually have guests, maybe not, because this is kind of my little safe space for marketing and business and just being who I want to be without having to put on a show for anybody. Now, that being said, I'm over a decade into my career already, moving into my 30s now, and the next step for me is taking the information, the insight, and the perspective that I have into the speaking world. So what I wanted to do, because I tend to take myself way too serious, is incorporate some form of comedy, some form of creatorship, fun, innovative, something to just really stand out from the industry and have an opportunity to grow a platform to share my perspective. All of this, everything that I'm doing is for me because I am being selfish AF and I want to get everything out of my mind, off of my chest, and also build a platform to be able to throw these ideas far and wide. So that's the goal here. And if you like that kind of honesty, then stick around because I'm really going to be sharing with you some of the different techniques that marketers use that I quite honestly find manipulative and psychologically abusive. But also some of the good stuff, how to really deepen your customer relationships and build an audience and, build a brand. You can build a business literally in a day. Building a business, building a brand, getting all of the legal stuff in place is not that difficult, especially when you've done it a few times like I have. What's difficult is sustaining and building and scaling a business and doing it efficiently, making sure that your people are happy, making sure that you're connecting with your audience. That's the difficult part. It's not starting it, it's sustaining, scaling, and just building it. That is the tough one. Now, let me just kind of pivot slightly into what you're not going to see on this channel. You're definitely not going to see which ads are the best ads of 2024. Is it Coca-Cola or is it Pepsi? I don't give a damn about those companies. Those are the big dogs. Nobody cares. They have so much money. Not interested. Okay. What I will not be covering is all of the big dog information. Why? Because there's already a bajillion companies, marketing agencies, newsletter companies that are giving you that kind of content. I really want to peel back the layers and I want to expose what's behind some of the advertising that we see the industry as a whole. And I'm not doing this. However, I want to show you exactly what is going through marketers' minds, how we're doing this, what it's triggering, what it's pushing, how we're building these relationships. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes to really allow you to see the life of a marketer. That is the goal. What is the life of a marketer? How can we run this industry more ethically and more fun and just not take ourselves so seriously, and also be able to share some of my perspectives and my ideas about business. All right, let's get into it. I'm actually a little bit nervous. I have not looked at my promotions box in forever. I have no idea what the heck is going to be in here. So this could be fun, or I could be massively exposing something strange. I have no idea. Okay, so what I want to do is go through some of these emails and just share my perspective, just from an email marketing perspective. This is what I've been in for the last 6 years or so extensively, is sending emails for the brand. So when you're getting emails and promotions in your inbox from brands, sometimes from Google, that is what I'm doing. I am one of the people behind these emails dictating what's being said, how it's being said, when it's going out, doing all the testing, segmenting, building and nurturing relationships. Email marketing is absolutely amazing. And so this is where this gets fun for me, because now you get to see a little bit about what we actually do as an email marketer. Now, for email marketing, it has the potential to drive as high as 80% revenue for a company when it's done correctly, which means that we know who the audience is, we know exactly what they want to see and hear, and we're putting stuff in there that's an actual value proposition for them. Whether it's a free download, whether it's shopping, there's something called lifestyle factors that play a role. So when are people most likely to make a purchase in the month? We all have rent, mortgage, whatever it is, bills, and most of those bills come out around the 1st. If you stagger them, maybe the 1st and the 15th, but that's also a typical payday for most people as well. So anywho, went real deep into the technicals there. So let's just go through. I'm going to avoid some of the ones that are obviously Crexy here is a real estate platform for commercial leases and residentials. So that's going to be really tailored to me based on the preferences I set. What I really want to look at here are promotions or emails that are basically newsletters that I'm subscribed to or places that I've purchased from in the past, and they're sending email marketing to my inbox. Okay, so unless you are, we're gonna go through Pottery Barn Kids first, a really popular one. I have little ones as well. I want to point out an example here with their subject line and preview header, and then we'll get into the actual email itself. But with this Pottery Barn Kids, we are just at the beginning of the month. It looks like they're wrapping up a 70% off of furniture sale. So they're saying final call with a nice emoji, up to 70% off furniture. It's really, with an asterisk, your last chance to save. The fact that brands are doing this, and this is not the only brand to do this, but the fact that they're doing this says a lot about the state of mind of consumers right now in regard to marketing. People are really, consumers, all of us, we're just really kind of burned out and tired of like the barking sales calls. The only time that that really works is if we're already primed and ready to make a purchase. For example, if in my head I already knew, hey, I need to buy some furniture, maybe buy some stuff for the kids, and then I happen to see this email, I might be more likely to click on it. Otherwise, I usually don't, because maybe I'm biased, but from a marketer perspective, I just get kind of tired. This doesn't excite me. This doesn't compel me to make me want to buy. For some people it does, and every audience is different. This is why a lot of testing is important. But final call, 70% off furniture. It's really your last chance to save. Let's see what the inside looks like. All right, so I have this zoomed out just slightly. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom back in a little bit here. Ooh. And now it looks like I'm shopping with them. Oops. Okay, so let's go through the email here. Let's just dissect this a little bit. This is not a bad email. The design is really nice and clean, but I do want to highlight on some of the calls to action here. You know, like some of this can get kind of buried. Again, a little boring for me. Maybe I'm picky. That's okay. This is a lot of like wordage, a lot of verbiage going on. The big thing here is up to 70% off. Now, as I'm going through, I'm seeing most of the stuff listed in this email is actually up to 40% off. So is this a little bit misleading? It definitely could be for some consumers. This might turn people off. This might just compel them to not click at all, because from the subject line that we read, they're highlighting here up to 70% off of furniture. They're highlighting it again at the top of the email. But then as you go through the email, you're seeing mostly up to 40% off. There's some here like up to 70% off playroom furniture, but most of these are saying up to 40% off. Now, this kind of plays into what I mentioned before with like manipulative marketing techniques. So they're really heavily pushing that up to 70% off. But then when you click into their email, the truth, at least what it looks like to me, is that most of this stuff is actually 40% off. Right away, I am the kind of person that would just be like, okay, peace out. I'm gonna go look on freaking Temu or something, or Wayfair. I don't know. That's just me, but you know, overall, not a bad design. Now, I will say that with some of these calls to action, they are kind of repetitive. I don't know, kind of boring to me. I do love, this is probably my favorite part of the entire email, is they have a little bit of something in here that's kind of breaking up the typical aesthetic. They've included their Halloween shop in here. Now, that is something, especially with the 20% off. Even right now, as I'm making this video for you, I am tempted to click and go, browse and see what they have. Because it's an upcoming season, I'm getting discounts from that upcoming season right from the get-go. And so this, I wouldn't be surprised if it has a high amount of clicks, but also because it's way down at the bottom, if somebody is really just not interested in any of this stuff, they might miss that entirely and just completely leave the email. So in my opinion, I probably would have bumped this up a little bit and just ditched some of this stuff up here, because those are a little bit redundant at the top. So yeah, fun stuff here. They have a call to action at the very bottom to download their Pottery Barn Kids app, and then also sharing their rewards program. So overall, not a bad email. I do have some things that I personally would change, and just kind of highlighting the fact that they really emphasize 70%, and I'm only seeing like one thing in here for up to 70%. So that's kind of crazy to me. Now, while we're on the topic of Pottery Barn, I did scroll down just a little bit here, and I'm seeing that they actually supposedly extended the sale. I don't know. call it psychology, call it what you will, call it common sense. If there is a company that supposedly is doing so hot with their sale, or somebody that's doing, courses or whatever they're selling, whether it's digital, whether it's tangible products, it doesn't matter. If somebody's claiming that they're going to extend the sale because it's doing so amazing, probably not reaching the goals that they wanted to reach, right? If we're just being honest, if it's doing absolutely amazing, your sale is fired up and pumping, probably not doing as amazing as you would think. And I'm speaking from personal experience here because we just ran a sale 2 weeks ago with a client of mine that outperformed so much that the warehouse was backlogged. And we had to actually cancel any type of Labor Day sale that we were even thinking about doing. So we actually did not do a Labor Day sale because the sale that we did 2 weeks ago just absolutely smashed. So I just want to say, maybe not for every case, but in most cases, if they're extending a sale that's doing absolutely amazing or high demand, my first inclination as a marketer is to think that maybe they're just saying that and they're actually not hitting the goals that they want to hit, but they're trying to use some kind of psychology to say, hurry up because we've extended it. And if you're thinking about it, now's your chance. That's just my thoughts. Man, I have so many brands in here. I have everything you can think of, from home improvement to e-commerce to naturopathic and holistic options, hemp and marijuanas and influencer stuff, education platforms, softwares. I have a lot of stuff in here. So, and that's because it's really important for me to track all across industry. I have travel industry, let's see, business industry. I have quite a bit in here. So what I would like to do, I'm going to hit on, I think, let's do 2 more emails. I want to give you something that's not just e-commerce. I want to go a little different with it, but I'm also going to start subscribing to a lot of emails just so that when we do these kind of videos, we can really go in depth and have a lot of fun with it. I lied. I want to click on this one, H&M. Okay, so the subject line is 20% off just for members. I think it said valid online today only, join now. So for today only, and this was, days ago, but I just want to look at kind of the verbiage here and what they're doing. Hello member, you currently have 0 points. That's because I don't shop. Today only for 20% off for members. And that's probably, honestly, the most real thing I could ever admit is, as a marketer, I find it so hard to be excited by marketing for shopping. I just shop where I want to shop and where I like to shop, and that's it. Okay. It's in the jeans. I don't know. That's kind of strange to me. What's in the jeans? My 20% off for members is in the jeans. I don't know what that means. Need now pairs. And this is where, okay, so this is a key point to just point out. And these are big brands. This is why I'm clicking on these companies, because these are massive brands that totally miss the point. And it's whoever's running their life cycle or their email marketing. I'm not a man. But if they did some tagging or segmenting or polling or something, they would know that, and they probably wouldn't say, these are the pairs I need now, because those are not the pants that I wear. So now they're missing opportunity, right? They're missing opportunity for me to actually make a purchase. And when we did a test on this with a client that I have, who also sells in the clothing retail industry, when we targeted the design specifically to the person, whether they're shopping for female specific clothes or male specific clothes, our open rates, the clicks specifically, let me correct myself. The clicks, which means they're clicking on a link to actually go shopping, increased by 8%. Now, just to put that in perspective, the average has been maybe 1 to 3%, but tailoring it specifically to the audience members, so me, who is literally watching this email right now, I'm just not buying. None of this is compelling to me at all. It just isn't relevant for me. So this is kind of a point to be made here. On top of the fact that, let's see if it lets me view the rest of the message. Oh, it's going to take me to the internet. Okay. Not to mention that they're really talking about 20% off for members today only. I want to say through 9 to, okay, so they did do a gift card. So it's an e-gift card for H&M members. I get that. Okay. I clicked on it because I wanted to make sure that they weren't like falsely advertising 20% off today only, because some companies will do that. They'll say, oh, today only, but really it's, you know, every day, all day, any day. And that is what I consider manipulative. But they look like they did okay with that. They're, you know, they're not being totally dishonest, but the email itself is not really targeted toward me. All right, now this is exciting. We're going to get into naturopathic stuff. So this is from a newsletter called The Lost Herbs. I purchased a book a long time ago, and I do have gut issues sometimes. Welcome to the 21st century, where most of my generation is dealing with that kind of stuff. So this is something, as I'm scrolling, it's extremely relevant to me, obviously, because I purchased a book. Maybe I fell into one of their funnels that tagged me for gut health, or maybe this is just a coincidence and I'm taking an interest because I'm noticing gut and energy. When I have my flare-ups or my episodes with poor gut health, it absolutely zaps my energy. I am like non-existent on the face of the earth. So I might be more inclined to actually eat this or click on this just so I can kind of see, okay, what kind of free information are they giving out? Natural remedies for stubborn HPV. That's hilarious. I promise I don't have that, but that's funny. I really, really like that it's talking specifically to gut health, though, because that is relevant to me. So if we're just looking in the grand scheme of like psychology of emails and marketing in general and how you're talking to your customers in their inbox, 9 times out of 10, they're going to click on something that's absolutely relevant to them, which is gut health for me. So I love reading stuff about this. I have several newsletters in my personal inbox where I'm always keeping up to date with some of the naturalistic and holistic ways of taking care of myself. Anywho, that is a lot about me. Let's get back to the marketing stuff. So what else can we click on here? I'm just trying to feel and see opportunity and close. I guess. Kind of click through. Let me just see here. Okay, I'm going to click on this Hoka ad here. Elite Trail Performance tested by who? Who was it tested by? Jim Walmsley. Okay, I'm not in like the runner community. Those who probably are going to know who that is most likely. I have purchased their shoes because I wanted to get into more running and working out, which I have. Thank you so much. Congratulations to me. But what I specifically wanted to note there is how simple they kept this email. Elite Trail Performance. So we know that we're looking at trail shoes. That's going to be very important, especially if they've segmented or separated their lists very well to know exactly who's looking for trail performance shoes. I have looked at trail performance shoes just to go hiking and things like that. And then they're using social proof right in that preview text. So tested by whoever that was in the runners community. That is a form of social proof. So that way they're able to kind of from the get-go, for anybody who might be in that community, they know exactly who that is. They're going to click because they're going to say which shoes were tested by this person. I'm interested. So I personally, even though they kept it light, maybe this is not an email that I would have normally clicked on. Clearly I didn't. I got this like weeks ago and I never clicked on it. For some people, that is going to be a big hit. And I just wanted to highlight that that is probably a nice, clever way to keep it simple and not be too loud in the inbox, not use too many emojis, and using social proof right from the very beginning so that they can see as we are going through. I mean, I love the little play on like the trails and the move mountains. I think that's nice. A really short blurb on the shoe. Shop now, probably going to lead right to the shoe. This is probably the person. Yes. Okay, wonderful. Now we can learn a little bit about Jim Walmsley, and we see that it was tested in a partnership with Hoka. So wonderful. Endurance coach Ian Torrance shares advice. Wonderful. So this is probably like a blog. Okay. So now that I've seen the email with you all, love it. They're highlighting their Hoka membership, locate a store, get text offers. Great. This is a well done email, mostly because they're keeping it really, really specific to the subject line, the preview header text. Using the subject line and preview header text, they've actually expanded on those thoughts in the email. Now, if you remember from just a few minutes ago, Pottery Barn was really advertising up to 70% off. But then the truth was, when I actually got into the email, most of it was only 40, some were 50, and then there was one category that was 70% off. I find that to be a little bit manipulative, waste of my time if I really was looking for everything to be 70% off. With this email, what you see is what you get. They kept it very simple. They used social proof in the preview line, and then they expanded. They used that opportunity to expand on what that actually was, who this person is, share a relevant blog article, and then directing us to join their membership program. So this is a nice, well thought out email. If they are doing their segmentation, ideally it would go to the correct subscribers. All right, so now we have wrapped up the emails. I'm actually going to do my homework, and I'm going to subscribe to way more newsletters than that. Clearly, I don't do a lot of subscribing anymore. So I need to get some companies that I need to subscribe to. If you have recommendations for who you want me to subscribe to, send me their websites in the comments. Tag me on their pages. I will go and subscribe just so I can monitor their emails and do these honest reviews for you. Now, it's not always going to be emails. We can also jump on Facebook and go through advertisements from Facebook on Meta. Meta has a transparency regulation where you can actually go on any company page, and if they're running advertisements through Meta, you can see those advertisements down to the creatives, the copy, all kinds of data. So it's a lot of fun. It's a fun way to kind of monitor the industry, what companies are doing, keep a pulse check, and just kind of test it out for yourself. Even if you're a small business owner, if you have competitors that might be running advertisements or are sending newsletters, that's a really easy, honest way to just keep a pulse check on what's going on with their company in relevance to your industry and what you're doing. But this video went off on a wild tangent. Welcome to it. This is No Brands Land. This is a space for me to just talk really candidly about marketing and business, all of the thoughts and perspectives I have, probably some stuff about me too, because this is not scripted in any way, shape, or form. And if you like content like this, you want me to keep it real, you just want to see behind the scenes, you can get into my newsletter where you can actually dictate the topics that we're talking about, or you can leave me comments and interact with me on these platforms. Hopefully I see them. Sometimes I don't. Don't be offended. Just keep tagging me, keep messaging me, and I'm going to do my best to keep up with it all. But I will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this really authentic session, and I look forward to doing these more. Bye.